You weigh about 30 kilograms. The wind outside is moving at 200 kilometers per hour. The temperature has dropped past 60 degrees below zero. You have not eaten in over 2 months, and you will not eat for 2 more. This is not a survival horror story. This is Tuesday for an emperor penguin. You live at the bottom of the world, on the sea ice of Antarctica, in a place so hostile that almost nothing else even tries to breed there. Most animals flee winter. You walk toward it. Every year, in the coldest, darkest season on Earth, you march up to 120 kilometers inland, away from open water, away from food, to a breeding ground your species has used for generations. Why would evolution build a bird that runs headfirst into the worst weather on the planet? The answer starts with a number. 0. That's how many land predators exist on the frozen interior of Antarctica.
No foxes. No wolves.
No leopards waiting in the dark. By choosing the single cruelest environment on the continent, you've also chosen the safest nursery for your chick. Survival, here, is a trade. You pay in cold. You get paid in safety. But paying in cold is not simple. Let's reconstruct what that actually costs your body. Your feathers are not like a sparrow's. You have about 100 feathers per square inch, the densest feather coat of any bird alive, layered over a thick pad of blubber. Underneath your skin, blood vessels in your legs and flippers run in tight parallel bundles, artery pressed against vein, so that heat leaving your body through outgoing blood gets captured by cold blood coming back in. Scientists call this a countercurrent heat exchange. It means your feet can sit directly on ice at -60 and still stay just above freezing, while your body core stays close to a toasty 38 degrees Celsius. You are, quite literally, insulated against a climate that kills exposed skin in minutes. Physiologist Gerald Kuhlman spent decades studying how your body handles extremes, first documenting the incredible diving capabilities of emperor penguins, showing you can descend more than 500 meters into freezing water and hold your breath for over 20 minutes. His work revealed something the ocean and the ice have in common. Both are trying to kill you, and your body has found ways to say no. Now picture the colony. Thousands of you, packed together on open ice, no shelter, no windbreak except each other. This is where the huddle begins. You don't just stand near other penguins. You press into them, chest to back, shoulder to shoulder, forming a slow-moving mass of bodies that can include thousands of individuals. Researchers using thermal imaging cameras, including work led by biophysicist Daniel Zitterbart, discovered that a huddle isn't static at all. It moves in a continuous, rolling wave. Every 30 to 60 seconds, penguins on the freezing outer edge take a small step forward, and the whole group rotates, like a crowd inching toward a single door. No one is in charge. There's no leader penguin shouting directions. And yet the entire huddle behaves like a single, breathing organism, cycling every individual from the brutal outer rim to the warm center and back again. Inside the huddle, temperatures can climb from -60 outside to nearly 37 degrees Celsius at the core. That's a temperature swing of almost 100 degrees, created by nothing but bodies and physics. Ask yourself, how many species on Earth solve a life-or-death engineering problem just by standing closer together? Here's where the story gets stranger. While you're huddling, you're also starving, on purpose. After the female lays a single egg, she leaves for the ocean to feed, sometimes traveling over 100 kilometers each way. That means you, the male, are left holding the egg. Not literally in your hands. You balance it on top of your feet, tucked under a warm fold of skin and feathers called a brood pouch, and you do not move for around 2 months. No walking to find food.
No breaks.
Just standing, balancing a single egg, through the darkest and coldest stretch of the Antarctic winter, burning through your own fat reserves because there is nothing else to eat. French physiologist Yvon Lamarjo, who studied fasting emperor penguins at the Point Geology Research Station, found that males can lose over 40% of their body weight during this incubation fast. 40%. Imagine losing nearly half of yourself and still having the strength to keep an egg alive, keep yourself warm, and survive gale force winds, using nothing but stored fat and a huddle of neighbors who are just as hungry and just as cold as you are. So why do it this way? Why not split the job, half incubate, half hunt, and rotate? Because timing is everything. The chick needs to hatch just as the sea ice begins to break up in spring, when food becomes abundant again. If you started the whole process later, in a milder season, your chick would hatch too late, and the sea ice would already be retreating, stranding a hungry family far from open water. The brutal winter start isn't a flaw in the plan. It's the plan. Every piece of misery you endure is timed precisely so your chick arrives right when the ocean has something to offer it. This is the counterintuitive twist at the heart of the story. The very thing that looks like the worst possible strategy, walking into winter, starving for months, standing in hurricane-force wind, is actually the most efficient solution evolution could find. The hardship isn't a cost you're forced to pay despite the plan. The hardship is the plan. When the female finally returns, she recognizes her mate's individual call out of a colony of thousands, using vocal signatures unique enough to cut through the noise of an entire breeding ground. Documentary teams, including the crews behind March of the Penguins, spent months capturing this reunion process, showing just how precise that recognition has to be for the right chick to survive. And when it all works, when the fast ends and the chick hatches and the ice finally begins to loosen its grip, something remarkable has happened. A bird with no den, no nest, no shelter, and no nearby food source has raised new life through the most extreme conditions on the planet, using nothing but its own body heat, the bodies of its neighbors, and a level of patience that would break almost anything else alive. Think about the last time you had to wait for something uncomfortable. A long line. A delayed flight. A difficult stretch of work with no immediate reward. Most of us treat discomfort as something to escape as quickly as possible. An emperor penguin treats discomfort as a tool, something to be managed, shared, and endured precisely because enduring it is what makes the outcome possible at all. The huddle only works because every single individual accepts a turn on the cold outer edge, trusting that the group will carry them back toward the center eventually. There's a quiet lesson buried in the ice of Antarctica. Sometimes the environment that looks the most hostile is actually the one built for you to succeed in, if you're willing to trade comfort for safety and effort for timing. Sometimes the version of hard that seems unbearable from the outside is, from the inside, simply what surviving looks like. You weigh about 30 kilograms. The wind is still moving at 200 kilometers per hour. But you are not alone out here, and you never really were. This is not a survival horror story. This is simply what it means to be an emperor penguin, and somewhere in that endurance is a truth about resilience that applies far beyond the ice.